how to build the foundation of a good melody every single time. Like, I don't know how people told you to do it before. I don't know what you knew before coming into this. Hopefully you're coming into this with just like a brand new open mind, because this is like a pure methodology to get you to be able to do this every single time. Step 3 being like actually building the foundation. You're going to need to use chords. If you don't want to use chords, click off the damn video, bro. Like, I don't even know why you're here. I don't know what you thought you were going to learn. I don't know what kind of fucking secret you thought you were going to get. If you don't want to learn like basic music theory as a fucking musician, click off the goddamn video. This shit is not for you. If you do want to get good at making melodies, you do need to understand at least some kind of basic chord structure, bro. Ain't no producer, TM88, Southside, Jetson, motherfucking, what's his name? ATL Jacob. I promise you, they might not be able to vocalize the fact that they're using music theory, but like, the reason I'm getting hype is because you'd be a fool to think they are not using music theory, but oh, all their melodies sound the same. And yes, they are making their melodies from scratch. You're crazy if you think Southside is not making melodies from scratch. You're crazy if you think Metro Boomin is. There's literally video of them doing it even up to this year. So cut it out with all that shit of they use samples, they're not making. No, they do use samples sometimes, but they're still making their own melodies. And they're dark, and they're consistently dark for a reason, because they, at least on some fundamental level, they understand fundamental chord theory. The reason your melodies suck is because you do not understand fundamental chord theory. Once you do, that problem goes away. Then you can build your melody without actually needing to build a chord. But until you can do that, you must use chords. There, you do not have a choice, or your melodies will suck. So use samples. Like, that's it. That's it. So if you want the sauce, that's the sauce. That's the sauce. Not everybody's going to get it, but like, if you get it, that's what you need to understand. Like, that's what they're doing. Ain't no magic with it. You're not going to come up with a new chord progression. You will not. Pythagoras came up with this like over 3,000 years ago. You're not finna reinvent music theory. Just use what already exists. That's why music theory exists. Like, damn, like, bro. Anyways, that was for the bro who really thinks he's still finna reinvent melodies and he doesn't need music theory. That was not for you, the person who's like, I know I need music theory. I'm ready to learn. That being said, this is how you build a basic minor chord. It's going to be built like this every time. Get your first note, boom. That's the second note. Skip 2 spaces. I don't know why it's like that. Just fucking do it. I'm not finna explain it to you. 1, 2, 3, fourth space. Minor chord. You see it sounds dark, boom. If you can do that, you are instantly better than 80% of all producers. Like, congratulations. Welcome to like the elite. Like, seriously. Because like 80% of people will not go that far. They will just not accept that that's how you need to make melodies in order to like attain a certain vibe. Same thing, like if you want it to be major, like they just won't learn music theory. So that they are just a weakling in that aspect, which is like crazy because you're literally a musician. Like, you're literally a musician. This makes you a better musician, so you become that much more powerful. Why would you not use things and do things that make you better as a musician? Absolutely confusing to me. Please use chords. Boom, boom. That's a dark chord. That's pretty much all you'll ever need. That's pretty much all you'll ever need. If you want to get a little bit deeper into chords, I will provide a series of videos beneath that really go in depth into different chord progressions that I like to use. But you do need to understand the fundamentals, because we're talking about dark melodies today. You need to understand the fundamentals of like actually making like a dark melody. And it's like a minor chord because it has a dark vibe, and that's how you build it every single time. Now, this isn't exactly built into this lesson, but I do want to explain something that is going to be helpful for you, and that's using half steps to build off of this one chord. If you know this one chord, you can use half steps to build other chords without knowing any of them. And that's why music theory is important, because if you know just a little bit, it takes you that much farther than like literally everybody else. So look at this. A half step is basically just coming down one step on a note. So coming down one step, you can do this anywhere. It's just one step down. So listen to how that sounds solo. You see, it's got like a dark vibe as compared to if it was something like this, like a full step. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit different. It has that. Now, when you do it with a chord, that's where you really experience the magic. And we've all seen this. We've all like seen all the Metro Boomin melody tutorials. We know this is like one of his go-tos. It's one of the go-tos for ATL trap in general. But the whole magic behind it is that it is the same minor chord that we just learned how to build, right? But you use a half step, and this is the magic of music theory. It's a concept called dissonance. You don't even need to know what it's called. You just need to know that it works and apply it, bro. You don't need to know what gravity is. You just need to know that if you fall out of a tree, you will probably break your leg or die, right? You don't need to know gravity. You don't need to know the law of gravitational force in order to understand that, right? So you don't need to know music theory to understand that half steps work. Just use them. Like, I need to beat that dead horse because, like, you need to use chords and you need to use half steps. Like, there is a reason people are spamming that in all their tutorials, because fundamentally that is what you need to do. It's just that they don't talk about everything else that goes into actually building, turning all this shit into something that doesn't sound boring. And that we'll talk about that a little bit later, but like, you do need this. Like, you can't do anything else unless you've set the mood with like a good key and built out a decent foundation for your melody using some kind of chord progression, right? So I really want to like bring that home. Magic. And there's a lot of different ways that you can apply half steps. Like, I could do a half step here, and then by adjusting this a little bit to make another chord, this isn't a half step, but 2 half steps, and then moving a note somewhere else gives us a completely different chord. Right? And that's just half steps. And there's another way we can play with half steps. Let's see. Half steps even work if we wanted to make a major chord. So we could make a major chord and then use, or no, we could, yeah. Let me see. Yeah, that's a major chord right there, but it's still taking advantage of the concept of dissonance. So that's how, like, you can even make a dark sounding melody and still be using major chords, is because the concept of dissonance and the concept of half steps and just how it plays in with music theory creates these feelings in our brains that make us think, oh, darkness, oh, ambience, oh, sci-fi, whatever. There's a reason certain sounds make us feel certain ways, and it has to do with actual science. That's why you got to use it. Use chords, use half steps. I'm gonna keep saying it. Do it. That's why your melodies are bad. Right? So I'm just going to stick with the good old Metro stuff we had going on, because I feel like making something a little bit more dark and repetitive. And that's something like you can build a lot of, like, you can create your entire beat catalog or all your melodies just using this one chord progression.